Hello and welcome to this tutorial of While My Guitar Gently Weeps by the Beatles, written by George Harrison and on the original recording with Eric Clapton on lead guitar. This song is actually only based on two different parts. It's the first part, it's like the verse, and the second part it's like the chorus. The verse is based on chords like A minor, G major, D, and E7. And the chorus is based on chords like A major, E major, and those great chords like C sharp minor, F sharp minor 7, B minor 7, and G minor 7. Sounds pretty difficult, sounds like bar chords. Actually, I arranged this whole arrangement without using any bar chords, so no worries there. Let's start with the verse. The verse starts on A minor. Actually, it's an A sus2 because in the beginning we don't use our index finger. In the beginning we have a little pickup. It's the D string and the G string with your middle finger on the second fret of the D string and the ring finger on the second fret of the G string. Followed by the open A string. Sounds like this. All three notes have the same rhythm, and for the right hand it's thumb, index finger, and thumb. Those three notes being followed by these three notes. It's again the D and the G string and the open B string picked together and followed by the index finger on the first fret of the B string. From the very beginning sounds like this. Now next up is the open A string, again the G string and the pinky on the third fret of the low E string. I know it's always hard to use the pinky, but it's good if you give it a try. Again, all three notes in the same rhythm. And those three notes are being followed by, again, these three notes, D string, G string, and the open B string. And again, put your index finger on the first fret of the B string. From the beginning it sounds like this. And now, again, low E string with the pinky, the G string with your ring finger on the second fret, and the middle finger on the second fret of the low E string. And again the B and the G string, open B string, G string on the second fret, and index finger on the B string. And it's the same rhythm like before. And now comes the low E string on the second fret again, followed by your pinky on the third fret of the B string, your index finger on the first fret of the low E string, and the middle finger on the first fret of the B string. Looks like spider fingers. And all four notes have the same rhythm. And now ring finger on the second fret of the G string and pinky on the second fret of the G string. And in the end again, a low E string with your index finger on the first fret. And that's the first 4 bars. Okay, now back on A minor. Thumb picks the open A string, and index, middle and ring finger pick the G, the B and the high E string with your ring finger on the second fret of the G string, index finger on the first fret of the B string and the open E string, followed by the B string again and the A and the G string picked together. Followed by the open B string again. First 4 notes have the same rhythm again, and then a quick open B string. Next up is G major, only with your ring finger on the third fret of the low E string, followed by the open D string and the middle finger on the second fret of the G string. Next up, the open G string, again the low E string, and again the second fret of the G string, but not with your middle finger, but with your index finger. Why do I use my index finger here? Because it's easier for the next chord. It's the G major. And the G major starts with the open D string, followed by the G string with your index finger on the second fret, third fret of the B string, and second fret on the high E string. And in the end, again, the open D string. And from here we go to the E7. You only need to put your index finger on the first fret of the G string, and then pick the low E string, the G string, now the G string, and the open B string. and it's the same rhythm for all the notes. And that's the first 8 bars of the verse. And from here you just repeat the next 6 bars. And the only difference is the last note in this bar with a G. Before we used the index finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and now the index finger goes on the 1st fret of the B string, because the next chord is not the D, the next chord is the C major. So from G, index finger on the 1st fret of the B string and ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, and followed by the open G string, again the B string, the open high E string, and back on the 3rd fret of the A string. From G it sounds like this. And then again the E7, like the way we played it before. That is the end of the verse. From here we go straight to the chorus. Okay, the chorus starts with those 4 notes all in a row. It's the A string, G string, B string, G string, followed by the open B string. Take off your pinky there and put it back again, because the last note is again on the 2nd fret of the B string. That's the first bar of the chorus. Now it's C sharp minor time. It's only the middle finger on the 4th fret of the A string and the ring finger on the 4th fret of the E string, followed by the index finger on the 2nd fret of the E string and the open E string, and in the end again the low A string on the 4th fret. And that's all we need to do on C sharp minor. On to F sharp minor, again those 3 fingers on the 2nd fret of the D, G and B string, and your index finger on the 2nd fret of the low E string, and play those 4 notes in a row, then followed by the open B string again, do a hammer on with your pinky on the 2nd fret and play the open high E string. If you have a problem with the hammer on, you can pick this note as well. It doesn't matter. And then again back on the 4th fret of the A string with your ring finger and index finger on the 2nd fret of the B string. And in the end, again the root on the 4th fret. The first 4 bars of the chorus. Next up is B minor 7, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string and ring finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. And then it's the A string, the open D string, the G string and the open B string. Like this. Followed by the G string again and again the open B string. Then we stay with B minor 7, picking the A string and the open E string. Followed by the open D string, again the G string, and now pinky on the 2nd fret of the B string, and again remove the pinky and play the open B string. And now on to E major, just like this. Middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, ring finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and index finger on the 1st fret of the G string. In this case, you don't need the middle finger here. I still put my middle finger there because I'm used to do it like this, but you don't have to, because what we pick is the low E string, the D string, the G string, and again the D string. Next up is the F sharp minor 7. Middle finger on the low E string on the 2nd fret, but the ring finger stays on the 2nd fret of the D string, and the pinky goes back on the 2nd fret of the G string, and again pick the E string, the G string, the G string, and the D string. The same like we did on the E. And now up to the 4th fret, middle finger on the low E string, ring finger on the G string, and pinky on the G string, all on the 4th fret. And again pick the E string, the D string, and the G string, and again the D string. Now that's the first 8 bars of the chorus, and from here we do repeat those 8 bars with a little variation. First we have our way back to the A major, and it sounds like this. Open A string, 2nd fret of the A string with your middle finger, and then again the chorus from the very beginning. A stays the same, C sharp minor stays the same, And again, the beginning of the F sharp minor is the same. From here we have a small variation. We play those 4 notes: A string, 2nd fret, D string, 2nd fret, G string, 2nd fret, B string, 2nd fret, open B string, and again the B string on the 2nd fret, and this time with your index finger, because from here we go to C sharp minor, and there we need the ring finger on the 4th fret of the A string, picked together with the open E string. Sounds like this. Sounds like this. Followed by the 2nd fret of the B string again, and in the end again the root on the 4th fret of the A string. And that was the difference to the first 8 bars. From here it's again the B minor 7, the way we played it before, and those chords: E, F sharp minor 7, G sharp minor 7. And now we need to go back to the verse by playing the low E string open and middle finger and ring finger on the 2nd fret of the D and G string. And that's our pickup from the verse. Then again play the whole verse followed by the chorus again, and from the second time we play the chorus we go back to the verse, and at the end of the verse there's a small ending. And goes like this. I do only play the second half of the verse. And from here we are used to play the C major, and now we go on F major instead, and it's like this again. So it's for the F major, ring finger on the 3rd fret of the G string, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and the index finger already is on the 1st fret of the B string. And then it's the D, the G, the B, and the G string again. Followed by the E major, put your index finger on the 1st fret of the G string and your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then again pick the D, G, B and G string. All notes have the same rhythm. And finally strum the A major. And that's it. That's the end of the song and the end of this tutorial. Again, I hope you liked it, and I hope I see you next time. Bye.